Your body is mostly empty space. Atoms, electrons, tiny particles held together by invisible forces. And right now, in a distant corner of our galaxy, there exists something so magnetically violent that it would not just kill you, it would reach inside every single atom of your body and tear apart the very concept of matter itself. Not an explosion, not heat, not pressure. Something far stranger and far worse. Here's the contradiction that will keep you awake tonight. The most powerful magnetic field in the known universe is generated by an object smaller than a city, something you could theoretically drive across in under an hour. And yet that same tiny object produces a force so incomprehensibly strong that the laws of physics we use every single day simply break down in its presence. The vacuum of space itself starts to behave like a physical substance around it. Light bends, matter dissolves, and you would not even have time to experience pain. So what exactly is a pulsar? And what would really happen if you could somehow find yourself inside its magnetic field? Let us go deeper. A pulsar is the collapsed remnant of a massive star that exploded in a supernova. What is left behind is a neutron star, an object roughly 20 kilometers across, but containing more mass than our entire sun. When something that large collapses into something that small, conservation of angular momentum kicks in. Just like a spinning ice skater pulling in their arms, the collapse causes the object to spin incredibly fast. Some pulsars rotate hundreds of times per second, and as they spin, they emit powerful beams of electromagnetic radiation from their magnetic poles. Beams so precise and rhythmic that when astronomers first detected them in 1967, they genuinely considered the possibility that the signals were coming from an alien civilization. They called the source LGM-1, Little Green Men. But the most extreme version of a pulsar, the one that rewrites every rule, is called a magnetar. And this is where things become almost impossible to describe. If you are enjoying this journey through the most extreme environments in the universe, please take a second right now to hit that like button and subscribe. We explore questions like this every week, and you do not want to miss what is coming next. A magnetar's magnetic field is roughly 1 quadrillion times stronger than Earth's magnetic field. That number is so large it requires a moment of silence. 1 quadrillion. The strongest magnetic fields we have ever produced in a laboratory on Earth are roughly 45 Tesla. A magnetar produces fields estimated at 10 to the power of 11 Tesla. That is 100 billion Tesla. At just 1/10 of 1 second of light travel distance from a magnetar, roughly 30,000 kilometers, its magnetic field would be strong enough to destroy every credit card on the planet. At 200,000 kilometers, it would distort the iron atoms in your blood. At 1,000 kilometers, it would rewrite your molecular structure. And if you were within a few kilometers of its surface, something called vacuum birefringence would occur around you. The magnetic field would be so intense that it would polarize empty space itself, making the vacuum behave like a solid crystal. But here's what would actually happen to your body. Long before you reached the surface, at a distance of approximately 1,000 kilometers, the magnetic field would induce currents so powerful inside your body that every chemical bond holding your molecules together would be forcibly dissolved. Your DNA would not break. It would restructure itself along magnetic field lines. Your neurons would fire uncontrollably and then stop forever. Your cells would lose the ability to maintain any structural integrity. At the quantum level, electron orbitals, the shells around atoms that define all of chemistry, would elongate dramatically into needle-like shapes aligned with the field. The hydrogen atoms in your body, which make up roughly 60% of your atoms, would be stretched into cylinders 100 times thinner than their normal shape. You would not be a person anymore. You would be a thin stream of magnetically aligned plasma, gently falling toward a surface where the temperature is 1 million degrees and the gravity is 100 billion times that of Earth. And yet, what if you could survive? What if you somehow carried a perfect shield? What would you see? You would see a landscape unlike anything in human imagination. The surface of a neutron star, called the crust, is made of a crystalline lattice of nuclei embedded in a sea of free electrons. It is the smoothest and hardest material in the universe. Any mountain on its surface taller than 5 millimeters would be crushed flat by gravity. You would see jets of high-energy particles streaming from the magnetic poles, lighting up the surrounding nebula in X-rays. You would see the fabric of space-time visibly curved around you. Light from behind the star would bend around it and become visible from the front. You would be witnessing general relativity not as an equation, but as a visual reality. Time itself would pass more slowly for you near the surface due to gravitational time dilation. Every second you spent there would correspond to slightly more time passing back on Earth. And the radiation, the pulsar beams, rotating like cosmic lighthouses, would be carrying energy that would require lead shielding many meters thick to partially block. The entire surface would glow in X-rays and gamma rays. You would be standing in the most electromagnetically hostile environment our universe has produced since the first moments after the Big Bang. The pulsar does not care that you are made of matter. It does not care about atoms, or biology, or consciousness. It simply is, spinning, radiating, distorting the universe around it for tens of thousands of years until it slowly cools into darkness. We are fragile creatures, standing on a pale rock, looking out at forces so extreme that our entire vocabulary of danger fails to describe them. And that is exactly why they matter. Because understanding the limits of the universe tells us everything about what the universe is made of. If this video made you feel genuinely small, in the best possible way, smash that like button and subscribe right now. Leave a comment telling us, if you could visit any extreme environment in the universe with a perfect shield, where would you go? We read every single one. See you in the next one.